Do you wish you wouldn't need to go to work? Do you wish to stay at home all day, playing video games, watching YouTube, eating whatever you want, going to sleep and waking up at the time that pleases you? If you answered yes, then this manhwa about all of those things and how those things may be not what you really want is for you. Unemployed Gye Baeksun is the manhwa about a regular Korean girl who likes nothing more than outplay noobs in video games, eat cheap food, and binge watch YouTube for hours. It's a comedy manhwa where situations are way too similar to my life for me not to laugh. Like in this one chapter when our main character asks one of her neighbors to help her kill the roach, and when her neighbor sees the state of the room that she lives in, she's in shock. And the reasoning Gyu gives to all the chaos that's happening in her room, trying to reason it with efficiency and how it's just the simpler way to live for her, is just too real. I also leave pens on the floor in the same spot just to put them back on when necessary in my depressed times, trying to justify it by efficiency. Before getting into the meat of the story, I just have to add that Gyu now is my top waifus of all time, and we really need more fan art of her. The story opens up by showing us this child who dreams of becoming a wonderful adult like her mom and dad, to then switch up to her all grown up being unemployed. The trends of our times of overworking and underpaying, people skipping social gatherings or even meals just to get by, I feel like this setting is pretty realistic. It would be even more realistic if her parents would be divorced, but it's besides the point. From our first pages with Gia, we can see and feel the direction the story and the comedy are headed in. She judges other people for the same things she does and always finds excuses or reasons why she can be forgiven by her own standards, which is very relatable. All she does is sleep, play video games and watch YouTube. Truly the best life there can be. First couple of chapters we get accustomed to her and her living situation. She lives alone, problem solves the dishes by eating ramen straight from the package, makes loud neighbors get quiet by pretending that she has boyfriend over very loudly, and politely explains to the other players her point of view in a video game, which gets her banned. We see a person who thinks one but does another, in a sort of self-betrayal, you are your own worst enemy type of thing. But at the same time, she might be thinking bad stuff on paper, like when she got a video recommended by YouTube of a cat breaking a cup. And she said to herself that cats are disgusting and nothing but trouble. But when real life situation with the sick cat happened, she took it in and cared for it until it got healthy. Slowly but surely you get a feeling that she's not just a lazy bum, but a lazy bum with a good heart. The supporting characters are mainly neighbors and parents. She has a supportive mom who sends her food and money, but also keeps her in check. Slowly but surely, you start to wonder what happened to this nice girl that she decided that the best way to live is to isolate herself, and what brought her to the state when the first response to the neighbor knocking on her door is to pretend insane and grab a knife. The story unfolds to show us the past while Gia was still living with her parents and only got her first big company interview. After joining the company, she meets the employees, one of which is a young man balding from stress, another one is nasty and fat team leader, and the third one is the boss who is always on a business trip. A young man by the name of Juk-ung is telling her to escape and reside from the first smoke break they have together. But she takes it as a test, so she continues working there. After which we get a 3-month time skip. Even though she joined the company as a graphic designer, they make her do every kind of job without paying her extra or helping her with the tasks at all. At one point they have a company dinner and the fat team leader and the young man get into a confrontation because he thinks Gue likes the balding man. Team leader says something about his sick grandma which instigates the fight between them. So the next day the young man retires and the team leader starts treating her badly. Being overworked and super stressed after another one of the long days of work, While recovering from it, she thinks to herself that she will live this way until death if she doesn't win a lottery or something. She stumbles across an interview with the author of the popular web novel and reminisces about how she had won a writing competition as a kid. So the next day she resides, says everything she wanted to say to the team lead, and leaves buys herself a book about how to write stories, and then we get back to the present from the flashback. All of this happens around chapter 15, so I think this is the best time for you to decide if this story would be something you are interested in. The outer layer of the story presents as a comedy about being lazy and hypocritical, but this, just like in real life, most of the people's behavior stems from something such as experiences or traumas that make us act a certain way. A circle of being disappointed in a situation you're in, trying to change it, and then giving up and starting off from the beginning, but still not giving up. This story shows how big changes can start with smallest things, such as talking to a neighbor or feeding a cat. The art of this manhwa is nothing out of the ordinary, just a usual web novel stuff. I personally will continue following this manhwa to see where the story will take us. What are your thoughts about it? Have you given this manhwa a read? Thank you for watching.